Yeah, I had an awakening back in 2019. I had what's called a Kundalini Awakening, which is where just an insane amount of energy, kind of in the lower part of your body, comes up and sort of clears everything out, one chakra at a time, energetically. You've probably seen the caduceus, the medical symbol that's like the two, you know, snakes that go up or serpents that go up to the wings, right? That's essentially the symbol of the Kundalini Awakening. And it's a natural process that we all can go through. It's something that takes us from lower states of consciousness to higher states of consciousness. The lower part, you could say, is kind of our base nature, right? Our desires and our wants and our fears and kind of all of our lower stuff. And the heart chakra would be like the middle point, right? Love, understanding, compassion. And that takes us into sort of the higher energies, right? Speaking our truth, throat chakra, intuition, and sort of vision, right? And then power, kingdom, right? Our crown. Our crown is the king of the dome, right? The kingdom. So, Kundalini Awakening, it's like your entire perception of the world shatters. And what comes out of that is just this completely open mind of like love and bliss and freedom and understanding and passion and joy, and just like this realization that like all of the suffering and all of the problems that you've had your entire life were basically of your own making. And with that understanding is like, okay, well, if it wasn't all of that and all of them and all of those things, and it was just me, then I can sort of make the changes to make it better going forward. I've heard it called like ego death, which I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, but there is kind of a psychological death that you go through where it's this just realization that everything that you thought you knew is wrong. And what follows that is the dark night of the soul, which is dark, it's depressing. It's hard to find meaning because you're in this sort of unraveling of everything that you thought was true previously. And as that stuff starts to break down, you kind of have to just be still, go inward. It might take a week, it might take a month, it might take a year. I think it's different for everybody. I was really fortunate where at the time I could spend a lot of time alone. And so I spent close to 6 weeks in a room pretty much by myself, and was able to reevaluate my positions on everything, and take an honest look at my life, and really get to a point where it's like just sort of letting it all go. And as we let it all go, there's room for the new to come in. St. Francis talks about this, right? It's by dying that we awaken to eternal life. And once we realize that we are part of this eternal life stream, things become a little bit more fun, right? Life becomes a little bit more joyful and meaningful, because you're getting out of just all of the programs and the limiting beliefs and all of the stuff that held you back your whole life. And you sort of have a fresh slate, a clean slate, fresh chapter to move forward, understanding that, you're the one that's creating all of it. And so, Kundalini is wild, man. It's a really intense energy. I tell you, for me, it felt like, I don't know how to explain it, just divine ecstasy, where it's like every cell in your body is vibrating at a really, really high frequency of just pure light. And everything that's not of that frequency just gets blasted out of you. And you're finally free from the prison that you've held yourself in your whole life. So it's kind of cool. Then 2019, it was sort of weird to talk about. Now it's a pretty common thing. It's happening to a lot of people. So if you're going through any kind of a transition or a shift in your own life that seems to be a disaster, just hold on to it. You know, hold on to the idea that once that falls apart, then there's kind of a path for newness to be created. So anyway, yeah, I hope you found some value with that. And if you'd like to connect, reach out. Thanks.